to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Oscar Bevis for IFL TV. Delighted to be joined once again by Mr. Kalle Sauerland. I know we had...
Back in Bolton, ready for tomorrow night, live on Channel 5. Lyndon Arthur fighting for the chance to become world champion tomorrow night on terrestrial television. Friday night against Suarez, 17 knockouts, 18 fights, live on Channel 5.
I know we spoke for a while. I don't think you can. I know...
For 11 a.m.
It wasn't, yeah. It's quite an early...
I'll probably do better, but yeah.
It's quite an early weigh-in today. You know the phrase people watching in their millions? Sometimes people can get carried away and use that. You can actually use that with this fight.
But we can actually use it for this fight legitimately. I mean, boxing, that doesn't really mean much. But it will be. I mean, the last ones have done, what have they done? Last three, 1-8, 1-7, 1-5, 1-7. You know, so it's always about that sort of 1.5+ million mark, scratching on the two. We'll get there. And that's just the reach on Channel 5, so that's not even going... I know that promoters are arguing now about social media channels and different things, and, we haven't added that to it as well. So, yeah, it's actually much more, but yeah, that's the television audience, which is... speaks for itself. That's why you hope, and you can only hope, because it's a tough fight, that there's something heroic happening tomorrow night. You know, of course, victory's everything, but you hope for that moment of brilliance live on Channel 5. That's what it is, isn't it? That's what boxing is. I've seen so many careers. I remember Arthur Abraham won the world title in Germany. This was long before the Super 6 and Super Series and becoming an international star. His first two defences of the IBF belt pretty much went unnoticed. And then it was this fight against Edison Miranda, which was it was called the blood battle, they called it. I'm trying to translate it from German. And it was when he boxed 8 rounds with a broken jaw, and his jawbone was coming through his mouth. Actually, the bone had entered the mouth, and it perforated the back of his inner cheek. So the blood was coming out literally like a waterfall for 8 rounds, and it was horrific. How they didn't stop it was incredible, but he managed to get the win. And overnight, it was on free to air, and suddenly he'd gone from being pretty much a nobody, walked in a ring with a Smurf hat on, to becoming King Arthur Abraham. It's funny enough, actually, we're talking about one King Lyndon Arthur and King Arthur Abraham, and he went on to obviously box all over the world, and had some fantastic nights with him, but it was that moment of, when I talk about heroic, people say, what's he talking about? He's got to win the world title. No, yeah, that's great, but you always hope, and I don't want him to perforate a jaw and come out with waterfalls and etc. of blood, but it's those heroic moments in boxing. Look, Henry Cooper. What's the most famous about Henry Cooper is that picture of him, going with the cuts and how brave he was. That's what it's about, isn't it? It's of course the wins, but it's also about the bravery in the sport, and that's what you hope that the sport can do, and do that on Channel 5, on free to air.
Yeah, well, Lyndon's got the platform, and fingers crossed he does the business tomorrow.
It's also for people watching this abroad. The whole event is live on DAZN outside the UK for everyone to watch. So it's a truly global audience that Lyndon hopefully has for a fantastic night tomorrow.
Yeah, fingers crossed for Lyndon. Brian Suarez coming, was it £1 overweight, and he has 2 hours to lose that, so that's not, or shouldn't be a big problem.
Pound and something over, stripped down, and then it was still a pound. I think I'm
wearing invisible boxers.
Yeah, I couldn't quite work out how a pair of boxers are going to be a pound, but I guess, if they're gold-plated or something. But they weren't gold-plated, they only brought him a couple of grams, so he's got to make a pound in the next 2 hours, which should be fine.
Yeah, all good. Looking forward to that tomorrow.
Apologise, by the way.
Yeah, I saw him. Yes. Yeah.
I said, mate, you know, it's all good, all good. We had to put an early way in. There's a reason for that, and unfortunately, the reason's standing here. I've got to rush to Manchester for the Eubank press conference in a minute.
Are you expecting it to be a fiery press conference today?
Eubank? Yeah, I mean, you know, I've got a couple of things I'd like to say, but I'll see if I've got. It depends what they say, because normally I've. You know,
Can I hazard a guess at the word elbow being used?
No more elbows. Elbowgate is over. You know, no more around like, you know, some of the things that Liam said in the build-up to this. Like he went on Twitter and sort of said, "Oh, what you lot talking about?" You know, mate, I'm not blaming Liam because I don't know what the situation between him and Ben Shalom is, but it's like all the different dates. You know, people forget it wasn't moved like once. You know, it was. And think dates that weren't even announced. I'm not going to go into too much detail because some of it is confidential. But you know, it was a real shit show. You know, and I think Liam thinks I'm blaming him, but I'm not blaming him or Shalom. But they got to work out who is to blame because someone was to blame for screwing Eubank around, and us. You know, cancelling shows without medical on basis of an injury. I've never seen that before in 23 years of boxing. You know, so those are things that maybe will get brought up today. But usually with Eubank press conferences, and especially with Eubank Smith, they've got that dialogue where I just sit back and enjoy it, you know. So very chilled about it, you know. But it's good to get the weigh-in out of the way. It's a bizarre one. We'll get the weigh-in out of the way and then head off to a press conference. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the gloves are off was brilliant, and I look forward to that today. Just a quick one before I let you go. I want to talk about the top you're wearing.
Yeah, this is a very special top. It's not my latest Dolce & Gabbana number. You know, I'll leave that to Eddie. No, this was our first, and it's a man, a champion that I grew up with as a kid. He passed away recently at the age of 69. He's getting buried tomorrow. I can't be there. My dad's there, of course, but I grew up with him. It's a fantastic character, Rene Vella. Google this name and you'll see some of the coolest, most iconic 80s pictures you can ever imagine.
We're talking leather jackets. And
I'm not going to go too much into it. You'll see for yourself. He was a very colourful character, lived life to the fullest. I remember him training, when we were growing up, he would turn up with a caravan and a caravan had a gym in it. So he was like, he could have been a bodybuilder, but he was a fantastic boxer as well. He trained like unbelievable. Like this guy was training addicted, and you know he was a fantastic fighter. Like I said, our first European champion when I was a little kid. So someone that's very near and dear to us, and you know, may he rest in peace. But forever champ Rene. You know, that's the reason behind the T-shirt. But yeah, honestly, that name Rene Vella, Google it and just go on images, and you'll see what a fun character the man was. What a tough fighter. One of the best trainers I've ever seen in my life in boxing. Yeah, give him a watch, and yeah, may he rest in peace.
To not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,